can benefit by hearing what God says here. In 2 Corinthians 5:1, God says, "Now we know that if the earthly tent we live in is destroyed, we have a building from God, an eternal house in heaven, not built by human hands." The owner of the house I lived in for many years has notified me that he will do little or nothing to keep it in repair. He also advised me to be ready to move. At first, this was not very welcome news. In many respects, the surrounding area is quite pleasant, and if not for the evidence of somewhat declining condition, the houses seemed rather nice. Yet a little closer look reveals even a light wind causes it to shake and sway, and its foundation is not sufficient to make it secure. Therefore, I am getting ready to move. As I consider the move, it is strange how quickly my interest has transferred to my prospective new home in another country. I have been consulting maps and studying accounts and its inhabitants. And someone who has come from there to visit me has told me that it is beautiful beyond description, and oh no, I don't want to cry, and the language is inadequate to fully describe what he heard while there. He said that in order to make an investment there, he has suffered the loss of everything he owned here, yet rejoices in what others would call a sacrifice. Another person whose love for me has been proved by the greatest possible test now lives there. He has sent me several clusters of the most delicious grapes I have ever eaten, and after tasting them, everything here tastes rather bland. Several times I have gone to the edge of the river that forms the boundary between here and there, and have longed to be with those singing praises to the King on the other side. Many of my friends have moved across that river, but before leaving here, they spoke of my following them later. I have seen the smile on their faces as they pass from my sight. So each time I am asked to make some new investment here, I now respond, I'm getting ready to move. The words of Jesus during his last days on earth vividly express his desire to go back to the Father. We as his people also have a vision of something far beyond the difficulties and disappointments of this life, and are traveling towards fulfillment, completion, and an enriched life. We too are going to the Father. Much of our new home is still unclear to us, but two things are certain. One, our Father's house is our home, and two, it is in the presence of the Lord. As believers, we know and understand that we are all travelers and not permanent residents of this world. And in this beautiful little poem, the little birds trust God, for they go singing from northern woods where autumn winds have blown. With joyous faith, their unmarked pathway winging to summer lands of song far unknown. Let us go singing then, and not go crying, since we are sure our times are in his hand. Why should we weep and fear and call it dying? It's merely flying to a summer land.